Welcome to Storytime with Miss Alicia. Today's story is Arthur's Good Manners. Blubble, blubble, blubble. Arthur, please stop blowing bubbles in your milk, said his mother. It tastes better when it's bubbly, Arthur said. He stopped blowing the bubbles. Arthur took a bite of a sandwich. Oh, Arthur, said his mother. But before she could say any more, the phone rang. Grandpa is coming to dinner tonight, said Mrs. Alligator when she hung up. Hooray, said Arthur. Can we have spaghetti? That's a good idea. Can we make it together, said Mrs. Alligator. I'll call you when it's time to start. Arthur went to his room to play with his space set. Would you like spaghetti for dinner? He asked his astronauts. What? You say you don't want spaghetti floating around in your rocket ship? You say you would get all tangled up in the spaghetti? Arthur laughed at the thought. What a mess, he said. Then he began to count down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Arthur, said Mrs. Alligator as she passed his room, will you please try extra hard to remember your manners when Grandpa is here? But there are so many, groaned Arthur. How can I remember them all? Maybe you can make some flashcards, suggested Mrs. Alligator. When his mother had gone, Arthur finished the countdown and sent his rocket ship into space. While the ship was orbiting, he thought about the flashcards. I know, he said. I'll make them look like baseball cards with pictures. That will be neat. Arthur got right to work. No blowing bubbles, he said as he drew his first picture. My napkin belongs in my lap. I will not talk when my mouth is full. Then he heard his mother calling, It's time to cook the spaghetti, Arthur. In the kitchen, with a spaghetti box for his guitar, Arthur made up a spaghetti song. Oh, I like spaghetti, that's why I sing this song. Spaghetti is so skinny, spaghetti is so long. That's a good song, Arthur, said Mrs. Alligator. Now, would you find our big spaghetti pot? Bing, bang, bong! The pot was all the way at the back of the cabinet. Arthur had to make a lot of noise finding it. As soon as it was quiet again, Arthur and his mommy heard the doorbell ring. Hi, Grandpa, Arthur said, giving him a big hug. Guess what we're having for dinner? Spaghetti! That's great, said Grandpa. I love spaghetti. Then he handed Arthur a present. Thank you, Grandpa, said Arthur. This boat can meet my rocket when it lands in the ocean. Come, I'll show you. Arthur and his grandpa played together until Mrs. Alligator called them to dinner. Then Arthur grabbed his flashcards and followed his grandpa to the table. As soon as he sat down, Arthur placed his napkin in his lap. Then he took a drink of his milk and didn't blow one bubble. Would you like some bread? Asked Arthur's mother. Yes, please, said Arthur. While Arthur was eating his bread, Grandpa asked, How is school? Arthur pointed to his mouth and showed that he had to finish chewing, but he had to swallow the last bit. He said, School is fun. Finally, Arthur's mother served the spaghetti. She filled Arthur's bowl to the top. Yum, said Arthur. He reached into the bowl and grabbed 2 big handfuls of spaghetti. Uh-oh, said Arthur. When he saw